And we're back. Confessions of a Wedding Band, brought to you by all of us here at the Martini Shop. This is a podcast where we document our on and offstage band stories and discuss our originals. We have 20 plus years of fun stories that we'd like to remember. And years ago, we came up with this idea of writing a book. However, a problem with that, we don't know how to write a book. Thus, this podcast was born.
And I'm not sticking around. The wall has rotted, it's burning to the ground. Searching and searching, there's something to be found. The clock is ticking, and I'm not sticking around.
We're excited. We got the full band here today, so I want to shoot around for some introductions. I'm Brian, I'm the host of the show, and I play trumpet.
Greg on drums.
Henry Rollins. They invited me. I don't know. No, my name is Rob and I play sax and keys.
He's a liar. Henry Rollins.
Piz McRiz, guitar.
Brooke, bass.
Andy, singer and guitar.
Steven, saxophone and guitar.
We have a fun episode talking about one of our favorite local musicians here. This episode is the Ty Dudley Dinner Band.
Oh, yes. You know, first we should probably talk about how beautiful the part of Colorado that we live in is. And we had a place that we played religiously several years ago, and it was called the Whitewater Bar and Grill. It's still around, actually, and the owners are amazing people, and they have several different things that they do as far as businesses, and one of them obviously is doing down the Arkansas River, doing river raft tours, and excursions. So, explain what a river rat is. Like
a river rat. So a river rat would be somebody that could travel from far and wide to the river, which we would say that this is the Arkansas River in southern Colorado right now. So they could come from all over the country during the summer months to pretty much guide river raft tours. Obviously, probably younger folks that need a summer job, athletic, and very outdoorsy, and they would come to, say, just outside of Canyon City in this case, and they would spend the entire summer, taking people on river raft tours.
Right. So they're kind of seasonal, though, right? Because when it's not river time, then they're doing winter things, don't they?
Right.
Usually.
They'll go be a ski instructor or on patrol or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they're kind of like adventurous guys, kind of like the carnies of like the tourist industry, right? Mm-hmm. Because like they'll sleep in a hammock outside behind the Whitewater, under the stars, and such was Ty Dudley. He was this type of river rat, right? Mm-hmm. And anyway, let me say something real quick, and then you guys can go ahead. But from my perspective, I didn't know that he was there that night because we were jamming hard on like a really awesome crowd. And he had talked to somebody else
He talked to me.
He talked to you, okay.
Yeah, he asked if he could come sit in. And I said, he said he played guitar. I said, well, do you have your own guitar? He said, yeah, I could go get my guitar. I said, okay.
So it's Rob's fault.
Because we know from past episodes, nobody's touching mine.
That's right. No.
So anyway, this river rat, Ty, like, we go on break, and he's like asking for a cable.
He wanted to play on the break, I think.
Yeah, he wanted to play on the break. He's asking for a cable and all this other crap, and he's drunk, and he's like got this, puts up a like bar stool and stuff, and I'm like, who are you, dude? Like, you got to be kidding me. Like, no, you're not getting up here on our show. Like,
get off my stage.
Get off my stage. Yeah, is what I told him, which is, pompous and arrogant, which would make perfect sense that I would have said that. So I don't know. We didn't hit it off, right? We definitely didn't hit it off. And I didn't get to like fisticuffs or anything, but when it came to like arguing with each other for a bit, and I'm sure, he said some things, and then he just was like a cool guy, and he goes, "Hey man, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah." And I said, "I'm sorry too." And he gave me a CD, and he goes, "Here's my music, man. Like, check it out, And I said, "Cool, whatever," and threw it in the car. I don't even think we listened. We didn't even listen to it.
Not at the time. Not at the time.
Yeah, it was like maybe weeks later when I found it or something. I don't know.
No, we were on a
next
trip.
day.
Days.
It was
Yeah.
the next trip.
Was it? Okay.
I think so. Well, you had listened to it sometime throughout the week.
I think I listened
Yeah,
to it.
I think Robbie listened to it.
Yeah, it was probably Rob because it was
and
probably
then-
his car.
And then he
like-
handed it over to Brooke, and this is where the story takes a very fun turn. In that the next time we ended up playing, which was just the next week because we were playing every single
Oh
week.
yeah, we were playing
It was
all
a
the time.
wedding down south.
Yeah,
It
it was
yeah,
had a
some
couple
sort of
hours
wedding
on
down
our
south.
outdoor
And he goes,
wedding.
"Guys, I can't believe what I did." And everybody's like, "What?" He's like, "I can't believe I stifled the genius and poet of our generation by not allowing this guy to come up and play on our break." And we're like, "What the hell are you talking about?" He's
Oh
like,
yeah.
"Ty Dudley Dinner Band. You got to check it out."
And that's the name of the album, right?
Yeah, the name of the album,
Ty
Dinner
Dudley
Band.
Dinner
And
Band.
it's one guy.
Yeah, it's one guy.
And the beauty of like it's so fun because it's the Ty Dudley Dinner Band, and the album cover was just a CD. The album cover is a picture of Ty Dudley, and if you could imagine, like we said, River Rat, and we mean that in a very loving sense.
Oh, yeah,
so please
yeah,
don't think
like
that
this-
we're saying it in a bad way. He's a river rat, that long dark hair, big beard, and then him just shoveling spaghetti into his mouth.
Just got a bowl of noodles, man.
Yeah, bowl of noodles, and that's the Ty Dudley Dinner Band. And so we all took a listen to what Brooke was saying was the poetic genius of our generation.
And it was kind of like a really bad Lou Reed, like with brilliant lyrics. You know what I mean? Like, because the playing was very simple and yeah, buzzy, and you'll hear, that you can obviously like hear that when we play it. But yeah, anyway, like I thought it was brilliant. And then it had a picture of Ripstick Randy on there too, the armadillo
Yeah, on the
piggy
back,
bank,
yep. Mhm.
which was really funny. He had a,
It's
a
like some
armadillo piggy bank with 6 shooters and
like a
a cowboy
just see
hat
this
on it.
from the back like a
And when I
silhouette.
say armadillo piggy bank, I mean it
front of a
was a
campfire.
real armadillo that they had hollowed out and made a piggy bank out of. Like, so
and then just like random pictures, like some of just like his feet.
yeah, like it
His
was
sand shoes.
yeah, it was the weirdest cover, right? And it was just cheesy. You knew he did it on his own. He pressed it like on his laptop. You know what I
He
mean?
didn't even try to make like a cool.
But it was brilliant. It was
Sticker
brilliant. And
over
so the
this.
next time that we saw him, I apologized. And I said, "Dude, you need to come up and play Zombie Bride," because we loved Zombie Bride. That was the hit, right? On the whole thing.
She's my zombie bride, you'd better run and hide. Can't wait to meet you because she wants to eat you, yeah. That's right, you'd better run, she's got a killer tongue. Can't wait to meet you because she wants to eat you, yeah. It was the wedding day, church bells rang away, and I couldn't wait to see my brushing bride to be. And then the chaos starts, she went and ate my heart. My sweet bride to wed is now the living dead. She's my zombie bride, you'd better run and hide. Can't wait to meet you because she wants to eat you, yeah. That's right, you'd better run, she's got a killer tongue. Can't wait to meet you because she wants to eat you, yeah.
So there was a big, huge reconciliation. Like we were all excited to talk to him, and like the rest of us really hadn't met him. So we were like,
Yeah.
okay, we're kind of excited to talk to this guy.
I was starstruck.
Well, I remember going, so at the time I was taking sax lessons with Robbie, and I remember going downstairs one day, and before we even started, he's like, "You have to listen to this." So we spent the first half of the lesson listening to Zombie Bride and Ripstick Randy.
And you were like a kid then.
Yeah, I was probably like, I don't know, 14, 15. But I was at the Whitewater when he came up and played.
Oh,
You were there?
Yeah,
we
I
were
was
there that night
sitting
that-
in that gig. Yeah,
yeah.
it was epic.
So and we did
to
really
see
well.
him.
We
Yeah.
covered him, and I think
Yeah.
he messed up his own song. Like we knew it better than he did
Because we're such
because
fanboys.
we had listened to it.
No, it's a G, dude.
And then a lot of time passed, right? And we saw him again one time.
Well, but we got to talk a little bit real quickly about the
Zombie Bride not being Zombie
yeah,
Bride no
like
more.
no, we can't do Zombie Bride. We got to do something else. 'Cause
Yeah,
then
that's-
a lot of time.
That's
Oh,
what I was saying.
Okay, sorry,
like,
sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's cool. But like, I thought that was funny because like we had outworn the Zombie Bride and he had moved on as an artist. I thought that was great. he was like Prince.
As
You
you-
know what I mean? He comes up and we're like, dude, should we play Zombie Bride? And he goes, fuck that shit. Dinosaur song.
And it's the same
And it's the
song.
same chords. It's the same chords.
Different words.
Like with different lyrics. Like, and oh yeah.
Ty
so
Dudley's
anyway,
out there
Ty,
listening to this saying,
you
"It's
are-
not the
you're a
same
genius. genius, my friend. Genius
He was
and
such a cool
hero.
guy. Yep. And so now we should go into the hero part.
Oh yeah.
So who has the
Well,
best take on? Because I think
Well, I
Ryan,
just remember
Ryan
like
Ryan saw it on
I was
TV.
sitting there laying in my bed, ready to go to sleep, watching the news, and then all of a sudden, his glorious face just appears on the screen, and he's sitting there talking about how he saved.
Yeah,
Like,
he
a
jumped off
family
his
in the
own
river.
boat.
Yeah, they
Like
were
he was
drowning.
captaining, his own boat.
Yeah,
And then he jumped off that one and then went and saved.
I thought it was a car.
It was a car that went in
People
the
it
river.
was a
what?
car.
Yeah, a car went into the river.
Yeah.
So I mean, anybody that doesn't know, if you're driving along,
Oh, yeah, that's
between
treacherous.
You're in
a
Canyon
canyon.
City to Salida, you're pretty much just in a canyon with a raging river flowing right next to you as you're driving. And so if you make a misstep and you end up taking a hard right into if there's no guardrail, you just go right into the river. And so I'm guessing that's something that happened. And
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And he was so humble about it, so cool about it. He's just like, "Oh, I just did what I had to do, man." And it was just awesome. I was like, "Is that Ty Dudley?" And it's like Tyler Dudley right under his picture. It was awesome. So not only is he the prince of river rafting, but he's also a hero that saved a whole family in a car. Pretty cool.
it is very
And
cool.
so
The legend of.
here's an interesting thing. A couple months ago, we went up to go zip lining and we, all those years that Heidi said, come zip line, and we never did. The person who used to book us for Whitewater basically ran the zip line tours. And I'm up there at the Whitewater and I asked, all the rats were there. And I said, any of you guys know Ty Dudley? And they all looked at me and shook their head like I was crazy. And they were like, no, we don't know him. So like maybe he's
Just
not
like
around or he's at some other, place.
Mexico.
But yeah, God knows where, right? But cheers to him, man. And his genius of writing beautiful, witty, simplistic,
great rhymes.
yeah, like rhyme master Sharpton tunes, man. The guy is an impressive cat as far as I'm concerned. But
I just remember that night he came up and played, and it was a fun gig, but that was like the highlight. And I think I turned to Andy. I'm like, dude, we're the dinner band.
Did you realize?
yeah, we
that
are tied to
we're the dinner band.
We played for the Four Tops. Nuh-uh. Dinner band.
Yeah.
Did not compare.
One of my favorite lyrics of Dinosaur Song was, "He's a velociraptor. He's a gangster rapper."
That's awesome.
Like I said, man, genius, poet of his generation.
He was a nice guy, and we had a good time with him.
Yeah.
Well, those were great days, though. We were up. I think we got tired of playing good places because we played so much that they became boring. And that's kind of sad now because like live music has taken a turn and those venues don't produce, it's just people don't come out for live music the way they used to.
Not at all.
And that was fun. I remember that maybe the first or second time we played there, it was one of the first Fireman's Balls. Remember we did the Fireman's Ball almost every year.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And one of those Fireman's Balls, we had it packed in there and we were inside, and that was the way it should have been, like then we start doing them outside and blah, blah, blah. But like, I just remember like the energy in that little place was fun, and everybody had a good time, and it had a mountain feel to it, the way that locals were cool.
I mean, it was so fun that I broke a trombone in half.
You did do that.
Trombone. You did.
I think that was at the Fireman's
For another episode,
Ball.
right?
And it wasn't by playing it so awesome that it just molecularly like exploded. It was complete collateral damage.
Well, we used to put the trombone, which was that your trombone, Brian? So it was Brian's trombone, and so we had a shtick. Man, we're taking a turn, but so we had a shtick where Ryan would grab a trombone and play on "You Can Call Me Al." I would grab a saxophone and play on "You Can Call Me Al." Like, hey, look, we can play horns too. Ha ha.
It's like 2 notes.
Yeah, we each played 2 to 3 notes.
Yep. That was good though.
It worked. It was fun. But then we would set the trombone on the guitar stand.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I can't remember what happened, but I think it was.
I know what happened.
You tripped and fell backwards.
Yeah, I had a lot to drink again. And then,
You know what happened? Those shot skis. That's what happened.
yeah.
So that ski with all those shot glasses that were on it,
Those are fun.
and then everybody would do that. And if you're 5'6", you get it poured all over you, like
Well, we
which
poured it on
sucks.
each
Luckily,
other.
we're all pretty much the same size, right? But yeah, shot ski, everybody
was
yelling
fun.
shot skis, and then
Yeah, I just tripped and fell backwards.
tripped my
and
ass. It was
just-
more like a freaking like tractor beam, like grabbed you and just pulled you across the stage, and you just
Fell on the
crushed everything in your path as you were laughing your ass off. And we laughed so hard, and Brian was sad.
Oh yeah.
And
I think that made us laugh harder.
We're like, oh no, the trombone. And then I don't know who said it. They're like, more like trombone. And then of course Brooke, in true Brooke fashion, says, "That's what you get."
It just looked like a V.
Yeah, it was like a 90-degree
that was
angle.
the same night right before that you saved me from the lights falling on me because I fell into the lights and you just came over and went, damn.
Oh, that's right.
Right.
Save the lights from going down. What?
How many times do we have
How
to
many
save
months?
Pizzle?
Everybody
I
in
think
here
I
saved me
win though,
once.
because he could have actually died. He just like squashed a trombone.
How many months, Brian, did it take to get that fixed?
Oh God! It took
Oh,
It's like over a year, wasn't it?
Because
yeah. We used to do lessons where you would teach
We
me
would
guitar
swap.
lessons,
Yep.
and I would teach you how to play trombone.
Yep.
Nice job, Ryan. Or Brian. I don't know who came out worse.
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
Yep. Yeah.
He just didn't teach him how to stand.
I didn't know that was part of it.
That wasn't a component of the lesson.
So after that, he never gave it back to me ever again, and then
Oh yeah, he took it away from all of us because it was an amusing thing for all of us, right? Like we enjoyed it all. So
Yeah,
I
thought
feel
it was fun.
bad. Like I want the trombone to come back. I think we need to bring it back, but I know you're afraid to bring it out.
You gotta let me in. I drop by just to find another with you. Smooth jazz, candlelight, two silhouettes, you're so cool. wonder. You're still on my mind, I'm coming over. Yeah, it's alright, cause I'm a closer. So baby, let me in. You gotta let me in. Come on, let me in. You gotta let me.
All right, so what you just heard there was a song called Let Me In, and that was off our Last Call album. Let's talk a little bit about that right now.
So Let Me In was probably, I would say, would now go down into one of the last songs we ever wrote and recorded as a band in our more original state. I think this one was probably more a collaboration all the way around than a lot of different tunes that we have. I think we have a lot of influence from each guy in the group, from each of their instruments. It's got all kinds of different elements, from funk to jazz to rock. I mean, because there's some pretty hard rock and stuff in there. I think that a lot of our influences were really kind of coming to one place in this one. Everybody I feel had a hand in what this song became. And we like to say that the Last Call album is what the Martini Shot was trying to sound like for many years. And then we finally kind of got there in the Last Call album. And I think that this song, more definitively than any of the others, even on the album, much more so really truly sounds like what the Martini Shot is. And I don't know if I have, disagreeing friends here, but that's what I feel about Let Me In.
I totally agree. I wanted to kind of make a Prince song, and then it turned into what it is now, which little Princey. But this one was super fun to record too, because it was in your house when we were doing that. And then Steven, you wrote some awesome guitar parts, and I think we laid that down in like a take or two, and all of us were
I think
playing
we only
live.
did like 3 takes of it.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
it was awesome.
We did. We set the entire band up down in my basement, my unfinished basement at the time, and we rehearsed it a couple times. And then once we started rolling, I would say 2 to 3 takes, and the sound of the room was
Which is
special.
crazy.
I think that's
In an
like
unfinished
one of the best
Out of
sounding.
the 3 sessions we did for that album, that
And we
was
didn't
the
even work
best
on mic placement
sounding.
or
It was
anything.
great.
We just kind of set up and went,
And with concrete, how's that happen?
it didn't make any sense, but it really was the easiest session we had out of all of them.
And I just used that little cube, I think, didn't I?
Yeah.
Which is
We
crazy.
did a DI and then a cube.
And it
for
through
you.
my modulus bass, and that was
That song
because that
started-
song's really like
Yeah, you have a lot of
percussive,
stuff.
like a lot of pop, right, and pull in that. I remember like that was fun. Like I had some slippers on and just like we were chilling, not sand shoes, but slippers. And shoot, the horn parts I think are probably some of the finest horn work that you guys have ever done.
Yep. And if you guys remember the first time you laid it down, and it was just
Well, because
something about it.
We got together and like did sectionals for that song. We had it figured out. Remember, we went to Rob's house.
That's right.
That song started. You sent a demo out. I was still going to college at the time, and I wrote like a first draft of the horn parts.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the first song that I really had a hand in writing a lot on.
Yeah.
Then, as the song developed, I think Rob brought in some other horn elements that kind of glued it all together. And yeah, we got together and really worked it out. We had cool harmonies. And it was great.
That last lick too. That was yours, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got on guitar. You
Yeah, because
recorded all that.
we were working on these songs. It was this one and Clock is Ticking at your house one night. I don't think you were there, Ryan, because you were working like crazy.
I was there for Clock is Ticking, but
Well, for the session, but I
Oh,
think
yeah.
For when we were writing, it was just one of the writing sessions
Oh, yeah.
we did.
Yeah.
And that's when I came up with that guitar riff at the beginning.
Yep.
Yeah, we were sitting in the living room
Yeah.
just with acoustics.
Mm-hmm.
That's a interesting process when you think about how schizophrenic like that entire song is. It's like a Frankenstein of all these different styles, and they work well together, especially like, did I write the bridge on that? I usually do, right? Write a bridge.
Yep.
So it's kind of Chili Peppers, like that bridge. If you listen to it, like I think I'm trying to channel like some kind of melodic content, that maybe Flea would try to do at that point or whatever. What would Flea play, But it's like the sax solos and the like, just the that breaks down into this like really silky, like kind of a New York jazz, almost kind of fusion kind of thing going on in there. You know what I mean? Like, and then you look at, how hard it hits right off the bat with that metal kind of riff,
Yeah.
It's like progressive. And then, just the vocal part I think is really cool because like the vocal part is riding through the whole thing, and there's this whole staccato like bass idea. I was trying to think of a James Jamerson kind of, what would James Jamerson like play? How staccato could I play this? And I think it just winds up, like from that intro, right? And then it winds up and hits you over the head with that big riff, and then we're into a funky Prince thing. Right, which is totally what you're doing.
Yeah.
Just channeling some Prince.
And I remember like when the song was done, then you and Andy and I were hanging out, and we were in that upstairs room, and I was like, it's got to have like those cool Prince vocals, right? And then that's when we put all those harmonies on there, and I think those harmonies are awesome.
It's probably the best.
I
it's probably
can't
the best
sing that and
showcase
play
of your
that at the
guys'
same time.
Singing together.
On an original, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, because I think that's something that, when, in the heyday and everything, one thing that we could always kind of stand out, not only having horns and all that kind of stuff, but the three of us always sang, pretty well together. And I think we finally put it on tape with the second verse, especially.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool even now to go back and hear it.
And how
It's pretty
heavy
sweet.
hitting Greg plays like just so solid to have that heavy hitting drum,
Yeah.
kind of be the cornerstone, the foundation of everything that you're doing. It has a Zeppelin like sound to me almost, the way that you play some of that,
What I remember about that day is I worked that day and I actually hurt myself.
I remember that.
Yeah, like I was like
You
working
couldn't
in
even
the
walk
office
down
and
the
I
stairs.
slipped out. I know.
Yeah, because it was
I
like
slipped out of
wasn't
this
it
chair
Black-
and I
it was like Black Friday
strained
or
my
something.
knee somehow and I couldn't walk.
It
Man.
was Black Friday.
It was Black Friday.
It was Black Friday.
Yeah.
And he comes walking down the stairs, and he's limping like crazy.
Yeah, I was just like,
I'd
I didn't know if I
forgotten
was
that.
going to be able to play or not.
I forgot that.
Yeah, I was just like, once I got set up and I started warming up a little bit, I was like, I think I'll be all right. But I couldn't walk though, man. I had a heck of a time, like walking up the stairs or walking down the stairs, and
Well, that's one hell of a performance for
but every time I hear that song pops up a lot on my Spotify,
Yep.
along with Too Much Fun, as we were talking about that different episode. But yeah, that song pops up, and that's what I think about all the time, though. But it sounds so great, though. It's just like,
Yeah,
I mean,
room.
everything about that whole song is just, to me, is fantastic, man.
Yeah.
I mean, like we're just talking about the vocals. I mean, you get chills when I hear it. It's like, man, that was one of our best songs that we've ever, recorded. I think.
I think it's my favorite song that we've ever written. And the crazy thing about that too is that album, there were songs that we worked on for months, and then that one just kind of came together.
Just
And
came
it's
together,
probably the
yeah.
more complex of all of them.
Yeah.
The experience too. I mean, you have that story of getting there after work, after hurting yourself, walking down the stairs. I remember us trying to record the horns at Rob's house. I think it was this song, and I know I was late coming down there. I was tired. It was work. It was all that kind of stuff. We were just not in the zone.
We did record it over there, didn't we?
And we did record it, and we didn't use any of it because it was all.
I remember that.
That's what I was
We were
going to say.
just-
The second time around where you guys recorded it, it was just
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. That's
And
right.
that day I was so worried too. It was just like as it happened to me, and I was like limping at work, and then at home, I was like, "Good God, I got to record tonight, man. How's this gonna work?" You know. And
Well, the one thing I just realized I didn't remember, and I don't know why we did it, but I actually played the second guitar on that.
You did?
When we did the live recording.
Yep.
Why did we do that?
Because you're.
I think we just needed something else on there. Just needed something.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like the first song I played the whole that I recorded the part. That was cool.
I still have not been able to play a trombone solo on an album yet.
It's coming. It's coming.
It's because it got blown.
So talk about what a closer is. Like, what's a closer?
Well, so I don't know. Like the lyrics of "Let Me In," I mean, obviously are probably fictional in nature.
Like most of our lyrics.
Like many of our lyrics. I mean, obviously the story goes that, you know, the girl has left to someone else, and then he gets kind of kooky and is watching her with another, you know, having a date with another guy and all that kind of thing. But obviously the closer is just saying that there's no way that this guy's gonna end up with her. I'm the closer. I'm the one that's gonna close this.
Is that
deal.
a sports reference? Is that
Could
like
be.
a pitching reference?
Could be.
When you're the closer, is that like for pitching?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're a baseball guy.
A couple
Yeah,
things.
you'd know. Yeah, I don't know. I'd never even really thought about it. Like, I just was like, oh, cool. Yeah, I get it. He's like in, like relationship turmoil.
And he's the closer.
So
in
Yeah,
the
the
end.
closer gets it done.
What's the solo part? There's a Han Solo thing that I think I threw in there.
Lyrics?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
I have a bad feeling about
The
this.
flying solo.
Oh yeah, because it was like a play on words. We were saying like
Yeah.
so low, but
Yeah.
it was yeah.
But instead it was flying solo.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody, flying solo, that is not a Han Solo reference, but I think whenever I think solo, I think of Han Solo because I'm a nerd. But
We got it.
flying solo.
I do remember that. That was super clever. Trying to look
I
up the lyrics now.
can't reference it, but there was something kind of cool in there.
Time after time, I'll let you. This bird done flew. Don't know why, but my mind keeps landing on you. Flying solo, it's all right.
Flying solo, it's all right. Oh, so it was kind of a double meaning
Yeah,
because
that's
of
cool.
like flying so low,
low,
like
right,
because I picture this person being really close to watching these other two people, so he's flying too low, if you will. So, but then so okay, now I remember.
Yeah, I think you had to explain that to me. Like, I was like, what? Oh, okay. Man, it's been how long? And we nailed all that stuff when we did our CD release, like at Brews. We had fun. But I think I found I couldn't sing like some of that and play that funk part like at the same time.
Yeah, you were
know what I
playing
mean?
some
Like,
kind of complex parts.
Yeah.
Very
yeah, and
particular
I probably
bass
could
lines.
have with maybe a week of practicing it, and trying to make it independent. But yeah, and then there's a couple songs that we just never really played live, like, and that was one of them because it was hard,
Well, I think we tried once. I think we tried once, and that was at that Boats Bands a Barbecue event that we used to do. I think that was the last one they ever did. And a big problem was that Steven had to bring an alto sax, and everybody had to bring different things. And so we did. I think we tried and made it happen that one time, but then realized it wasn't worth the squeeze.
Yeah. It was something we put a lot of work into in the studio to do all these intricate parts, and it wasn't very easy to do.
That's why I thought that CD release party was so cool, because we played the album straight through, and I was so nervous because some of those parts are hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we pulled it off great. I was just glad to be done with that because I was super
I
nervous.
think we all were.
I know, I totally remember that. And we were at Brews Ale House where they had really good beer. And that was like served in a goblet, like a little goblet.
I
and you're
can't
like,
have
what
more
is
than
that?
one of
And
these.
yeah, they're like 12 to 5% beer, you know.
Yeah.
So
And I do remember everybody saying, "Okay, one's enough.
right,
Let's get on the
like we've got to go play, yeah,
was a
and
fun-
not
fun
be
show.
stupid. So
And I just don't think Let Me In is the best, I don't know, bar dance band song.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I think it fell out of the set list as well. Said, when we want to get people up and dancing, that's not one that we would have gone to.
maybe it was too schizophrenic from the beginning.
But people like it. I get all kinds of requests. I know you all do too for that song. Like, when are you guys going to play this song? Well, there's a lot of factors there.
I think that's that.
That's that. Well, that does it for another episode of Confessions of a Wedding Band. Thank you so much for listening to our little experiment in documenting our stories of our band over the years. Check us out on all the socials. Just look for Martini Shot. And of course, check us out on our website, martinishotband.com. This podcast is produced by all of us here at the Martini Shot and audio engineered by the man who, if he was alive at the time, would have engineered Nirvana's Nevermind album, our own Stephen Falsetto. Keep supporting local music in your community and don't forget about your wait staff. Tip them and tip them well. See you next time.
It was in the southwest of Texas where this shit went down. I believe that Alterlingua was the name of the town where old Ripstick Randy came and made his stand. He was so darn cool, he was even part of the band. His name was Randy, it was a name that would touch people's hearts. It tickled their eardrums and tear their minds apart. He was living it up every night, just as best that he could. He was an armadillo, piggy bank, just a little misunderstood. His name was Randy. Ripstick Randy. His name was Randy.
Randy.
It was another day on sale and the sun was going down. Randy thought to himself that he'd never leave this town, just doomed to sit on the shelf.